Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
I love this jamming new music. I definitely do. Welcome, everybody, to Naturally Inspired Radio. It's a Monday. It's hot here in northern Colorado and still a little misty. Woke up this morning to like a lot of fog because we had a really good dumping of rain last night. So I assume that enrolled the fog, and it was like a very foggy looking Scotland type of morning with my Highlanders out in the pasture. So it was really pretty. It's definitely starting to cool a little bit more in the evenings and in the early mornings here in northern Colorado. Dare I say it? But fall is coming. I'm such a summer girl. I hate to see summer go, but I'm starting to smell it. And then I sent my son out this morning to pick all of our pears and most of our apples. Still some apples on the tree. But he's got a whole bushel there for me. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be cutting pears, probably canning some pears, and I'm going to be making a lot of pies because I like to freeze them and pull them for, special occasions and stuff like that. So I've got my work cut out for me in the next few weeks or so. That's for sure. Next couple of weeks, I'm going to be busy. Like I'm not busy enough, but I got to get this done. It's important to me that I use the fruit that I'm forming or that I'm growing here on the homestead. So that's what I'll be up to. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Want to share just briefly with you too, these photos of my blooms. That's BLOOMS, my blooms, my flowers here at 1890. We've got some gorgeous hibiscus here on the homestead, and man, they are big now. I mean, these are plate-size hibiscus flowers that bloom, but the plants themselves are massive. So I have kind of a perennial garden that I have all fenced off because, the rabbits will eat it if I don't do that. And these bushes are now starting to take over that perennial garden. So I'm going to have to cut them back a little bit because they're just getting huge. But anyway, this is just one of my blooms from my hibiscus plants in my perennial garden. And then I've got some beautiful sunflowers too. This used to be, I believe, at one point, because 1890 Homestead, the house itself was built in 1918. And the land was homesteaded in 1890, of course, but the house itself and most of the stuff around, I think, was built in 1918 and there and about. But we actually replaced these were troughs. And they go right along the side of our fencing there. And instead of using them for our cows, because our cows are in a different pasture, we just decided to fill them with sunflowers every year. So we have this whole entire trough just full of sunflowers, and they're starting to bloom. It's kind of my favorite thing around here is just a trough full of sunflowers. I think that was my sister's idea, actually, one time when she was visiting. She said, you should just fill this full of flowers. And so we did, and that's what it looks like. So just a couple of pictures here of my apples as well, so you can have a peek. They're pretty tiny, but they're very sweet, so they'll be great for pies and whatnot. So anyway, just a great time of year here harvesting at 1890 Homestead. We have a fantastic show for you today. The topic of the day that I'm going to be talking about, I know, but I am not going to let up on this topic because not enough people are talking about it. And that is, of course, AI safety. And there was a guy, Dr. Roman Yampolsky, or Yampolsky, maybe. I'm probably butchering that. Sorry, you guys. Anyway, Dr. Roman, that's what we'll call him. He was on Joe Rogan recently. And he had a very bleak outlook for AI. But he made some very important points, which I have been making on here for weeks on end. So I wanted to bring those to you. So we'll have a visit with that. Robert Kennedy Jr. cleans out coercion when it comes to doctors. He's putting his foot down through HHS. So you got to love to see that. Small steps, baby steps. Again, it's just the business. The business of our country is a runaway train. But all these little tiny wins that I think we're collecting, I think we have to celebrate them. And this is one of them. And there's something interesting about Bobby Kennedy I'm noticing too. So we'll talk about that. The second story I'm going to cover is about some lab-grown food. This is something you need to be really aware of because as of yet, I do not believe, especially in restaurants, that you're being given informed consent when it comes to lab-grown food. And we don't really know what the impact on your health is from lab-grown food. So we'll talk about that. And then an intriguing story. Maybe a few weeks back, you remember I was talking about climate change in relation to artificial intelligence. Well, I'm pretty convinced. I am convinced that the climate change, that's all about advancing artificial intelligence. So we're going to talk about that. Our health topic today is cortisol. Lots and lots of questions about cortisol. And I know your TikTok and your Instagram are blowing up with the cortisol cocktail. So we're going to talk about that because again, don't forget root cause. And then I have some strategies for you for our naturally inspired moment. So let's get started. I want to start with this clip, but I have to warn you, I think it's got some swear words in it. And I think that I didn't get them over in time to get Jason. And actually, I forgot to tell him there were swear words in it. So bear with me. We'll bleep them out later for the radio feed. But if you're watching live, cover your precious ears because they're these next two clips. Here it is. This is Dr. Roman on.
But the more I studied it, the more I realized every single part of the problem is unsolvable. And it's kind of like a fractal. The more you zoom in, the more you see additional new problems you didn't know about. And they are in turn unsolvable as well.
Oh, boy. How is your research received? Like when you talk to people that are, have you had communication with people at OpenAI and Gemini and all these different AI?
I go to many conferences, workshops. We all talk, of course. In general, the reception by standard academic metrics is very positive. Great reviews, lots of citations. Nobody's published something saying I'm wrong. But there is no engagement. I basically said I'm challenging community to publish a proof. Give me something, a patent, a paper in Nature, something showing the problem is solvable. Typically in computer science, we start by showing what class the problem belongs to. Is it solvable, partially solvable, unsolvable, solvable with too many resources? Other than my research, we don't even know what the state of a problem is, and I'm saying it's unsolvable. Prove me wrong.
And when you say it's unsolvable, what is the response?
So usually I reduce it to saying you cannot make a piece of software which is guaranteed to be secure and safe. And the response is, well, of course, everyone knows that. That's common sense. You didn't discover anything new. And I go, well, if that's the case, and we only get one chance to get it right. This is not cybersecurity where somebody steals your credit card, you'll give them a new credit card. This is existential risk. It can kill everyone. You're not going to get a second chance. So you need it to be 100% safe all the time. If it makes one mistake in a billion, and it makes a billion decisions a minute, in 10 minutes you are screwed. So very different standards. And
does everybody understand this? I feel like sometimes I'm the only one that understands this. If I'm not talking to you all, if I'm not meeting with you all or talking to Jason or whatever, sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that understands this. The problem is unsolvable. What does he mean by that? Well, as AI advances, it's compounding. So it's getting more and more intelligent with all of the data that it collects. And let me tell you, how many bits of data do you think are out there, are being produced by us and cars and surveillance stuff and, software? I mean, you can't quantify it. And every time it takes in data, it knows how to use that data to advance its skill set. Like you can't even quite pinpoint the problem. And that's what I think he means when he's saying it's unsolvable. Like, how do you put brakes on this thing? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But in terms of bioweaponry, in terms of the national security, and I mean, like, it's endless. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're here. We got so much more to talk about. Don't go anywhere.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Find us on your favorite platform. Live streaming, you can catch the show on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, Twitch, DLive, Kick, and more. Podcast, you can listen anytime on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, and all the major platforms. On social media, connect with us on, I'm not even calling it social media anymore. It's hardly social. It's media. But anyway, on those media platforms, connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, of course, Getter, Gab, and all the rest of them. We're everywhere. All you have to do is search Tammy Cuthbert Garcia or Naturally Inspired Radio. We're everywhere you are. We're just a little hard to find sometimes. You just got to go a-looking. They're not going to feed you us. Because that's just not how it is. That's not the world we're living in. But we're growing anyway. We're growing anyway, and that's because of you. The best way that we can grow this show and connect people to real solutions for health is through your referrals. So we're so grateful for that. Okay, I believe this next clip is the one with the swear words in it. So if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, prepare yourself, because here it comes. This is, again, Dr. Roman talking about AI and AI safety. Take a listen.
What we're agreeing to. So I would like people to know about it at least, and they can maybe make some good decisions about what needs to happen.
Not only that, but the people that are running it, they're odd people. You know, like, I don't have anything against Sam Altman. I know Elon Musk does not like him. But when I had him in here, I was like, it's like I'm talking to a politician that is in the middle of a presidential term. Or a presidential election cycle, where they're very careful with what they say. Everything has been vetted by a focus group, and you don't really get a real human response. Everything was like, yeah, interesting, very interesting. Like, all bullshit. They're going to leave here and keep creating this fucking monster that's going to destroy the human race, and never let on to it at all.
He's a social superintelligence, so what you need to do is look at his blog posts before he was running OpenAI.
Social superintelligence. Interesting. Why do you define him that way?
He's very good at acquiring resources, staying in control. He's basically showing us a lot of the things we are concerned about with AI,
right,
and our ability to control them as well. OpenAI had a board with a mission of safety and openness, and they tried removing him, and they failed. The board is gone. He's still there.
There's also been a lot of deception in terms of profitability and how much money he is extracting from it.
I met him a few times. He's super nice.
Very nice guy.
Really enjoyed him. Some people say that AI already took over his mind and controlling him, but I have no idea.
Well, he might be an agent of AI. I mean,
Oh boy, they're getting into the conversation that I'm presenting all the time. Listen, Joe Rogan here is trying to be nice. You know, he's trying to be diplomatic. He says, you know, they're kind of odd people. They're bots. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Did you see Rogan's face? He's like, yeah, something ain't right. They're bots. Their brains have formed differently. I'm not saying they're aliens. I'm not saying they're actual robots, okay? I'm saying their brains have formed differently than, say, maybe yours or mine. Because we grew up in the analog world. Well, I did. And I'm hanging on to it. Hanging on to it like you wouldn't believe. These guys, they let go a long time ago. They are compartmentalized on the algorithm. Everything, the way they socialize is digitally. You can see it in their eyes. And I know other people can see it too, because you can see Rogan's face when he says, yeah, they're like, doink. Yeah, doink, bot. They're botty. They act like bots. They act like the algorithm. Their consciousness has been sucked into the algorithm, and now they communicate differently than, say, you or I. You cannot tell me you don't see it. I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere, and I definitely see it in Sam Altman. And I see it in many people. And this man, did you notice Dr. Roman deflects there for a moment? You know why? Because is he like a politician? Yeah, he is, because that's how much power these people have. These tech guys, these AI, they're driving the economy with this. They are in the driver's seat. So does he act presidential? Yeah, he's acting presidential, fake presidential, but he's acting that way because that's how much power they have. And this Dr. Roman, he knows it. That's why when Rogan brings up the money issue, well, there's some different, definitely some stock issues. Like there's the way he's earning money off of it. Don't forget, OpenAI's started open source, and it was supposed to be nonprofit. Not anymore. But this Dr. Roman deflects when Joe Rogan brings that up. Yeah, there's some concern about the way he's earning money or whatever. He goes, oh, I've met him. He's a very nice guy. I'm sure he's a bot. I'm sure he's very cordial. I'm sure he never misspeaks. I'm sure he thinks about everything he says before he says it because he's got a lot riding on this. But the problem with that is I don't trust people like that. I don't trust people like that. And you shouldn't either. They are so agenda driven. And not to mention that they are so compartmentalized. They have lost the thread on life. They have lost the thread on humanity. And so they don't want anybody to put the brakes on anything. Because this is a race, as I've pointed out to you, Eric Schmidt, Ray Kurzweil, Sam Altman, Yoel Noah Harari, all of these people, I play their clips all the time. There's a significant difference the way they think about life compared to the way you and I think about life. And, we're just these peasants. But guess what? We were born on the earth. And we are God's children, and we have every bit of right to claim the way we want to live our lives. But we are going to have to claim it, because if we just let things happen to us, if we just continue to let them dominate with no pushback, then we don't know where this is going. And I don't know how many experts people need to hear from. This is so dangerous. I don't know. It is so bizarre how nobody's talking about it. We have some few podcasts here and there, but where's Bobby Kennedy Jr. talking about this? Where's Trump talking about this? Where are all the leadership? Why are they not talking about this? Is it because they're all invested in it? I have to ask that question because Bobby Kennedy brings on people like Casey and Callie Means. Well, they're tied to a wearables, surveillance type of health platform. They don't want AI to slow down. Who's going to be looking out for us, right? Nobody's here to save us. The good thing is that we actually have a lot of power in our numbers. If we start bringing up this conversation, if we say, hey, yeah, that's great. Epstein list, this, that, okay, Trump, all these different things. But also the AI digital revolution could possibly ruin the human race. Can we prioritize here and start talking about the things that really matter? It's going to take our jobs. Oh my God, that's the least of the worries. That's a big worry. Of course, that's a big worry. That's a huge worry, but that's truly the least of it. We're talking biosecurity. We're talking energy crisis, which we'll get to later in the show. It's unquantifiable. It's unquantifiable because it's so big. I don't think anything bigger has ever happened since God created humans. And it's just fascinating to me how, I can hear it throughout the podcast. It's a good podcast. There's a lot of really good philosophical talk in here, which I think, just happens to come up when you're talking about AI because of this blurring of virtual and reality. What is it anymore? I noticed that Grok now has a feature where you can put in a video of somebody. Doesn't matter how old or a picture of somebody. Doesn't matter how old the picture is. It'll turn it into a moving frame. Again, blurring that line between reality and virtual reality. What is the impact on the human brain on that, especially when we tie it to people who have passed away? Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time. Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredраdio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
I want to tell you about Karen from right here in Colorado. She's 53, and she wrote in to me to let me know that she struggled for years with fatigue and brain fog. And she kind of chalked it up to just aging. You know, that's what they tell you, especially if you're a woman and you're hitting perimenopause or menopause. They say, oh, yeah, that brain fog, it just comes with aging. Well, Karen found out differently, because after just a few weeks on the cellular reset, she felt like someone turned the lights back on, is what she said. Her energy is now steady all day, and she's finally sleeping through the night. She had no idea that her cells needed this much support, but she is glad that she got started on the cellular reset. That's Karen. The polyphenols in the cellular reset are doing amazing things for people, and I couldn't be happier to hear from you. Keep sending your stories in, because I love to share them with our listeners. The more people that we can connect to real solutions for health, that means we have less pharma customers. You know, the less customers that pharma has, the less customers that the medical mafia has, the more empowered we are, right? And the more real solutions for health that will be available to us. Because the best thing we can do is stop buying it. You know, stop partaking in it. That's the very best thing we can do. Because this model that we live in today, this corporate model, they understand one thing, and it's money. And that's a fact. Okay, let's get back to this topic, because this whole podcast, I'm not even through the whole thing yet, but I got to a point where they really started exploring this idea of the simulation. And I'll be frank with you. When I first heard this kind of like, oh, we live in a simulation, I was like, oh my gosh, nerds. I mean, sorry, that's my Gen X coming out, but like really like nerds. Okay, whatever. Like I just, it didn't mean much to me back in the day, 10 years ago or so when I first heard that term, or living in a simulation. I was like, whatever. It didn't really mean much to me. But now I'm like, ew. So here's the thing, right? We talk about this all the time. Your experience through life is what you're focused on. Right? I mean, you see it. You meet people and you think, wow, this is like, they've got a great life. They've got a great husband. They got a great kids. They got all this stuff, but like they're miserable. Why are they miserable? Because through their lens, all they're focused on is what is wrong in their life. And that's their reality. Your perception is your reality. And so if you bring in like quantum physics and this philosophical thinking that perhaps everything is happening, it's just what you're focused on is what you live, right? What you focus on is your experience. There's a lot of other options in the matrix, right? There's a lot of other options, but your experience is going to be what you're focused on. So that's kind of like, in the simulation, I can't even believe I'm talking about this, but like in the simulation, there's a lot of choices available to you. And the more they kind of blur the line between reality and the simulation or virtual reality, the more it kind of is going to become one. And that's what I'm fighting tooth and nail, right? I am like, hang on to nature, go pet your dog, get your feet in the ground. Go stand in the river. Did you hear this nonsense that's going on in Canada? Oh my Lord. I think it's New Brunswick that has now, and Nova Scotia maybe? Nova Scotia, they have banned the forest, people. They have banned the woods. They have banned nature from their citizenry. And they're saying, don't even grow your own food. What? Come again? And, I just have to say that I cannot stand listening to some of these politicians in Canada. Everybody in leadership over there is talking like they are walking on eggshells. Like, can you just talk normally? You're just pissing people off even more with the way you talk. Well, Canadians have expressed some fear about this and that, and I want to be open and just. They're banning people from nature. This is nuts. Okay? You don't get to ban people from nature because it's our birthright to connect to nature. You don't get to ban trees. You don't get to ban rivers. You don't get to ban the mountains. You don't get to ban the lakes. No. You don't get to. You don't have that right to do that. And please, I love Canada. I'm Canadian. I was born and raised there. But man, aside from the trucker convoy, right? I love the trucker convoy and all the people that openly supported the trucker convoy and all of that. I mean, I just love those people. But aside from that, what is happening over there? You're just sucked right into the algorithm. Yes. Oh, yes. Don't be an idiot. Don't go outside in nature. Respect the firefighters. Are you comatose? What is happening to you? Think about it. It's insanity. They're banning you from nature, and they're weaponizing your empathy for firefighters to do it. Come on, wake up here. But there is no nature in the virtual reality, right? More screens, more online, you can experience nature through the metaverse. We're steps away from this. And the more you tolerate it, the faster it is coming at you. How you don't see this is mind-blowing to us people who have seen it 5 years ago, couple weeks. I'm like, wait a minute, something's going on here. 5 years later, you tell people, yes, stay out of nature. Do not swim in the lake. Do not, it might start a fire in my fishing boat. Like, what is... It's very frustrating, because we need the numbers, right? We need the numbers of non-compliance. We need people to be like, yeah, that's nuts. I don't know where you're going with that, but we ain't doing that. Peacefully, right? That's what we need. So it's interesting because back to the simulation here, blurring the lines is what it's all about, because when the lines are so blurred, you're not going to be able to tell whether you're coming or going. And that's what the goal is. The goal is you can't tell the difference. And that's why it's so important that we all level up our higher faculties as humans so that we're able to tap into each other's frequency. When you come across a real human, you look into their eyes and you go, yeah, that's a human, right? Am I right? When you look into the bot's eyes, you're like, what's going on here? Something's missing. Something's missing, right? Connect to your people. Community is the future. Connect to your people. Connect to their heart. Connect to their frequency. You have the ability. Look for them. Because it's going to get crazy as we get into this even more AI. And it is happening so fast now. Like I was saying, Grok is now animating photos. So you can put any photo in there. Okay. And this brings me back to Ray Kurzweil, right? When I covered Ray Kurzweil, how he has uploaded his father's, quote, consciousness into an AI model. And he converses with that AI model all the time, and he calls it dad, right? I mean, the idea, this is what's going to, really muddle things up, because obviously grief is pain. And as humans, we don't like pain. And so if they can solve your pain, then you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable, right? You're vulnerable to be sucked into that. And here's the thing. What is life if we aren't living in reality? If we aren't living in reality, then what is life? I hate to get all philosophical on you, but we got to contemplate this stuff, because we are here. It's not coming. It's not 100 years from now. I'm sorry, you're not going to be dead. I know a lot of people that were telling me that, oh, who cares about that? I just want to travel. I want to go here. I want to go there. By the time that stuff rolls in, I'll be dead. No, you won't. No, you won't. I never understood that anyway, because don't you care about your kids? Don't you care about your grandkids? Don't you care about your great-grandkids and your great-great-grandkids? Because I do. That's like part of being human. I don't know, God put that in us, just that care about your legacy. It's part of being human. If you're denying that, come out of the algorithm. Touch grass, as they say. Touch grass. Get your feet in the river. Get by some cows. Ground yourself. When we come back, it's our naturally inspired moment. Stay tuned. Big hour coming up, too. You're not going to want to miss it. Be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
I want to share with you just a special thank you to our customers today, new customers today, Anne, Mark, Gina, Catherine, and Charlotte. Say a special prayer for Charlotte, please. We met this morning, and it was just a beautiful conversation, but she could use a little prayer. So, just if you're sending out prayers, put a special one in there for Charlotte, please. She could really use it. I also want to share with you about David from California. He wrote in to let me know that he thanks me for seeing the whole person and not just the symptoms. Through my guidance, I've helped him completely reset his lifestyle. He's a cleaner eater. He takes smarter supplements that he knows are clean and helping him. And he's experienced a mindset shift. Why is that a tongue twister? A mindset shift that he didn't even really know he needed. I guess, we get in the same routine over and over again. And sometimes it just takes a little outside, a person coming in from the outside to say, hey, think about this. And so David is getting great results in the Naturally Inspired community. And I know so many of you are. Thank you for sending in all of the words of encouragement. That is a new thing. It's beautiful because I'm sending out words of encouragement to you, which I call whoa. Whoa goes out to all the customers every morning at 6 a.m. And it's just a little pick-me-up to start your day, So that goes out to all of you, all of your customers here at Naturally Inspired. Get a whoa every morning at 6 a.m. But you're sending them back to me, which I find really cool. You're like, thank you so much. You're awesome, blah, blah, blah. It's this now it's like, that's true community. We're supporting each other. And I love that. So thanks so much to all of our customers. I want to get into our Naturally Inspired moment now. This is an important one because I think we're all guilty of doing this. I don't know if it's guilt, but it's not helping us. It's not helping us, and I think we all do it. So here are 5 strategies to identify if comparing yourself to others is actually holding you back instead of driving you forward. So number 1, notice when you're distracted from your own goals. If you spend more time watching someone else's progress than focusing on your own plan, it's a real red flag. So ask yourself this: am I reviewing my own progress, or am I watching theirs? This is so important in the day of, media on the social platforms of like Instagram and Facebook and all of that stuff. We're living life through other people's experiences. A lot of the time, it's sucking up our time. We aren't intentional with our own actions. We're diving in and letting other people's lives shape us. Watching them live. What a bizarre world we're living in, right? When we just sit around for hours sometimes, we know people are spending 7 to 8 hours on their phones, and they're watching other people live instead of living themselves. So make sure you're not doing that. Make sure you're not comparing yourself to people online, because here's the thing. They don't put bad stuff online about themselves. Everything, let me tell you, everything is constructed. It's carefully curated, and it's not real. A lot of it's not the norm, right? Maybe this happened to them. But what you're looking at most of the time is somebody's highlight reel. And then you judge their highlight reel by your blooper reel. Everything that's wrong in your life, you're judging and comparing to somebody's highlight reel. So please keep that in mind, because it does not help. It does not help your state, and it does not help your results. Next, check your effort level. If comparison leads to frustration instead of action, you might be using it as an excuse to stay in your comfort zone. So ask yourself, am I training, learning, or practicing at full capacity? Or am I just talking about how far ahead they are? With talk like that, it sows the attitude of, why bother? Oh my gosh, everybody's so ahead of me. Why bother? You've ever thought that? You've ever been looking at something online and just thinking, wow, everybody's got their crap together and I'm the only one that doesn't. That brings your vibration way down, That inner dialogue can derail you for days on end because you think, why bother? This is hopeless. This is too much. So next, look for emotional drain instead of energy. So healthy competition fuels you. Unhealthy comparison drains you. If you feel envy, self-doubt, or resentment instead of motivation, you're not using the comparison productively. Here's how I will use things, and I don't call it comparison, I call it contrast. Follow some people that are inspiring. If you're going to be spending time online, which kind of we all have to do nowadays, make sure that you're following people and visiting people online that are inspiring. People who have overcome extreme adversity, and yet they're still showing up every day. Follow people like that. Be purposeful instead of a lot of this materialism that we see in this flash and, oh, look at me, I've got this, I've got that. And, all the stuff, stuff. It's all about stuff. Who cares about stuff anymore? I think we're living in such crucial times. The guy with the most stuff doesn't win. So make sure, you're looking for emotional drain, that you're not doing that to yourself purposefully. Number 4, assess if you're playing small. If you're comparing to avoid taking on bigger challenges, I'm doing fine compared to them, so why push myself? It's a sign that you're not stretching your limits. So ask yourself, what's the hardest thing I could do next? Maybe that scares me a little bit. Yeah, we use comparison in the opposite way too, right? We'll compare ourselves to the train wrecks that we see, the poor people that, put all their dirty laundry online, right? And they just let it all air out. And you think, oh my gosh, what's going on there? Somebody needs to tell them maybe don't air that out because, other people are watching, but not for a good reason. Many times it's not for a good reason, right? It actually makes other people feel better if they can compare themselves to a life that's going wrong. And so it's mean. When I think about it, it's freaking mean, and you see it all the time. So don't do that to yourself. If you're comparing yourself to other people, it could be a sign that you're just not playing big enough yourself. Because I tell you, like, when I started doing this with Naturally Inspired, I was stretching myself so thin, I wouldn't think about anybody else, because I was just like, man, this is hard. This is hard, putting yourself out there every day, preparing, and like all of the different variables of trying to learn business and actually connect to people and build relationships. Like, I was exhausted, crashing out at 10 o'clock at night. I'm out, because it's like all my energy is going towards this thing that I really want to help people with and to build. I didn't have any energy for comparison. And it actually helped me stop caring about what people thought too, because I just didn't have time for it. Too many demands, too many exciting things, too many things to grow, and get up and try again the next day. Because believe me, there's lots of failure. Lots of failing before you get going, So don't do that. Don't be afraid to stretch yourself, because that will really cure that comparison urge. Number 5, audit your progress without the external scoreboard. Measure yourself against your own past performance. You want to get competitive? You want to really get competitive? Compare you to the old you. Compare you to the old you. How much are you growing? Measure yourself against your own past performance, not someone else's current highlight reel. As I said, am I better than I was last month? Can you say that? Am I better than I was last month? If not, then your comparison isn't helping you. It's hiding the fact that you've plateaued. Maybe you're comfortable again. A certain level of comfort is great, but like too much comfort for too long, and you're not growing, which means you're not getting the most out of this experience here on planet Earth this time around, You're not getting the most experience out of it. You have to feed your inspiration to grow. It doesn't just show up every morning, right? Intention, so key. Intention. You need to be the designer of your life. Don't let the portal, aka the phone, don't let that design your life. You design your life. Don't compare to others. Compare to yourself. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. We'll be right back for hour 2. We've got a wonderful guest coming up.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the simple radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Every day, your body is fighting to get rid of toxins from the air you breathe, the food you eat, and even the stress you feel. But in today's world, your natural detox systems can get overwhelmed. And that's where Greska's Carbon 60 comes in. Greska's C60 is one of the most powerful antioxidants on earth. It's 172 times stronger than vitamin C. Helps your body neutralize and remove harmful free radicals before they can do damage. I use Greska's C60 every day. And recently I was telling you, my eyes are totally cleared up now. But last week I was experiencing a lot of burning and just puffy eyes, swollen eyes, because there's been fires going on in Utah. And from what I understand, even here in Colorado. And all I did was take a couple drops of my favorite Greska C60 and with my ring finger, I tapped it all over my eyes. And within minutes, I kid you not, it cleared it up. It's incredible. So, and that was really annoying too. So then I texted Bob and he's like, you should snort it. And so I did. I got the water stuff out and I just really stuffed it up there, and it cleared everything really, because I was getting a bit of congestion through the evening when I was sleeping as well. So anyway, visit c60.com or call Bob 303-521-400. Is that the right number? Let me check the number. c60.com. You can go there. The telephone number is right there on the website, but I'll double check that one because that doesn't sound right to me. So I'll double check it. But it's Bob and it's Sam, and they answer their own calls and they have thousands of stories for you to tell you. So if you're thinking, would this work for blank? Call Bob. They'll answer the phone and you can ask him about it. So it's a wonderful, wonderful way to get connected with a daily. Thank you, Jason. 720-600-6040. I knew that wasn't right. 720-600-6040 is the number to call Bob. But this is a wonderful way to constantly be detoxing. I always say, always be detoxing. ABD. We're living in a toxic soup. And that's why I take a couple dropperfuls of C60 every day. It's a binder. So it grabs up all of the bad stuff and it flushes you out of your body, keeps your detox pathways moving smoothly as well. So Greska C60, c60.com. Visit there today, 720-600-6040. We love our friends at Greska's C60. Let's get into some news stories for today. Because there's some big ones. Number one, I want to talk about this lab-grown food. Open up the propaganda machine because it's coming down the tracks. You're going to hear it. You're going to see it. It's going to be all over the place. Fake food, people. Fake food. Check out this clip.
Wild-type salmon?
It's lunchtime at the San Francisco headquarters of Wild Type, and company founders Justin Kolbeck and Aria Elfenbein believe that what's on the menu is nothing short of the future of seafood. Thin slices of salmon, not caught in the open ocean or even farmed in captivity, but instead grown in their lab.
For me, it was the sort of confluence of, okay, there's this potential technology that could address this really big problem that our society is facing. Very simply, where are we going to get enough meat and seafood for the next 3 billion people?
The samples are sliced from the cutting edge of an emerging technology known as cell-cultured seafood. And for the Wild Type founders, it's part of a larger mission. Kolbeck traces it back to his former career in the Foreign Service and stops like war-torn Afghanistan, where he remembers speaking with fathers who snuck miles across the border into Pakistan to bring back food for their families.
It's those kind of stories that really stick with you. And, like as a dad, of course I would do the same thing to feed my kids.
Essentially, we have the cells that come out of the bioreactor.
We toured their lab, which in its own classic startup story was converted from a microbrewery. Now expanded from beer tanks to bioreactors. It helps grow the living cells derived from Pacific salmon.
So this is our seed lab.
Co-founder Aria Elfenbein says the process ultimately nurtures the cells into a form of biological salmon tissue that's mixed with plant-based ingredients. To appreciate just how complex that science is, you might want to journey a few blocks away to Elfenbein's former life as a researcher at San Francisco's Gladstone Institutes.
Yuck. Yuck. So just pay attention here, okay? Because we have salmon. Yep, God, the good Lord gave us salmon. We have fish, but man is contaminating salmon. I would say corporations are contaminating salmon, and we're not doing anything about it. Certain places we're doing stuff about it, but we're letting our food supply become contaminated, and instead of fixing that, right, we're making synthetic salmon with weird cells and plants. It's gross. It's gross. Like, talk about being wasteful. It's so ironic, right? Because these people, they will, hold up the sign. We're saving the environment. We're making our own salmon. What? It's just bizarre because you're using up more energy and you are going outside of the natural life cycle to create something synthetic that the body won't even recognize. And then what is the consequence of that? Illness, disease in the body. Like, it just takes me back to to thinking that, darkness, evil, cannot create. It has to steal or co-op and synthesize, disrupt. This feels evil to me. I'm not saying these people are evil. Maybe they're just so far up the algorithms, consciousness that they don't even know what they're doing. I don't know. Maybe they are evil. I don't know. I don't care. Really, the point is that this is not healthy. We are now seeing the shift in the food pyramid, right? We finally getting some real change here, back to whole foods, understanding that the body needs protein, it needs healthy fats, it needs less processed food. And then we have this onset of biotech bros that want to start making fake food. Where's the consent in this? Because I have a feeling that a lot of this stuff is probably already out on the market and there's been no consent to it. It's all food grade, so it must be okay. We got to be really aware now of what we are eating, what we are putting into our bodies. We got to be hyper aware. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is cleaning out coercion. This is a pretty interesting story. I actually wanted to bring this clip to you last week. Remember, I queued it up and then I realized I didn't have it. So I brought it to you today. I think this is really important. Small little wins. I think some of these people, especially Bobby Kennedy, are working within a system, like I said, that is hyper-focused on profits, that is controlled by corporations, that is controlled by this race to artificial intelligence. And I feel like he's negotiating chips at the poker table constantly. But I think we got one back here. Take a listen to this.
Hi, I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS secretary. Let me ask you something. Should doctors make decisions based upon what's best for their patients or based upon what makes them the most money? It's not a tough question, but we've inherited a healthcare system that constantly pushes doctors toward the latter. It rewards certain treatments not because they're better for the patient, but because someone profits. Take what happened during COVID. Hospitals were paid to report staff vaccination rates. Those numbers were fed into the National Healthcare Safety Network, then published on the CDC website to shame any hospital that refused to become an enforcer of federal vaccine mandates. Today, I'm proud to announce we've eliminated that policy by repealing a dangerous Biden-era provision in the CMS inpatient payment rule. And we're not stopping there. We're scanning every corner of the healthcare system for hidden incentives that corrupt medical judgment. What we're finding is alarming. Doctors are being paid to vaccinate, not to evaluate. They're pressured to follow the money, not the science. We've recently uncovered that more than 36,000 doctors had their Medicare reimbursements altered based upon childhood vaccination rates. That's not medicine. That's coercion. It's immoral. It has no place in a constitutional democracy or in a system that claims to protect children.
I think that's fantastic. This is great. Like I said, we were getting a chip here, but here's the other thing, which I think still is obviously absent from the conversation. And maybe it's coming. Okay. So you want to talk about, coercion with physicians. A lot of physicians, they get into business as a physician because they want to help people. It doesn't necessarily support that. You know, where we'd really make a difference is health insurance companies. You want to talk about coercion? Let's talk about health insurance in the United States of America, shall we? Holy man, that's a racket if I ever did see one. Listen, we have Mark Squibb coming up at 4:30. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
As I said, you want to stay tuned at 4:30. Mark Squibb is going to be joining us. He's an inventor and a developer of a brain optimization system. And we're going to be talking to him about the power of oxygen and a whole lot more. Admittedly, I don't understand everything about the Live O2 program that Mark has, because I wanted to kind of really get into a deep conversation with Mark here on the show to reveal his journey into it, what it is, what exactly it does. He joined us at our summit. I have an idea, you know what I mean? But I always feel like these conversations are better when they happen organically, when you just let them flow, you know, and discover what this is. But you need to stay tuned for this, because this is something I'm certain you've never heard of, and it's a real solution for health. So stay tuned for Mark Squibb coming up at 4:30. You're not going to want to miss this discussion. So let's get back to Bobby Kennedy here and this bargaining that we seem to always be doing. Am I the only one that notices this? It's like chip for chip, right? We get more AI stuff through, and then all of a sudden we get this little blip of, oh, hey, we're going to tailor back and start pushing back on coercion and whatnot. But health insurance is something that I'd really like to see enter the chat, enter the conversation, because this whole thing doesn't change until we fix health insurance or eliminate health insurance, whatever we're going to do to fix it. I have some ideas. I don't have it totally figured out, but I do have some ideas about how we could stop this. Right now, I mean, people are paying exorbitant amount of premiums on health insurance for care that they don't want. And that's a real problem, right? And then there's clawbacks between pharmaceutical companies and pharmacy benefit managers and health insurance. Like, it's a mess. And yet nobody's talking about it. Not allowed to talk about it, probably. Not just yet. So let's keep our eyes peeled for that one. I also want to talk to you about this, the real reason they want to push climate change on us. I have a quick clip I'm going to share with you. We're going to go through these pretty quickly because I want to make sure we get to our health topic before Mark joins us. So the real reason for climate change, let me tell you, it's not what you think. Take a listen to this.
Data centers store and transfer all the digital information we use, which is a lot and growing. So they run very, very hot. The cheapest and most common way to cool them is water, a lot of it.
Water tends to be much cheaper than power. And so it's a pure financial decision for many players.
In just one day, the average data center could use 300,000 gallons of water to cool itself, the same water consumption as 100,000 homes, according to researchers at Virginia Tech, who also estimated that 1 in 5 data centers draws water from stressed watersheds, mostly in the West.
There is, without a doubt, risk if you're dependent on water. These data centers are set up to operate 20 years. So what is it going to look like in 2040 here, right?
Water conservation, you think it's about the climate, it's about saving the planet. Think again. This is about building their data centers. You know, AI is going to need we've discussed this, how energy is really the only weight we have on the full launch of AI is these data centers, building these data centers, having the energy for these data centers. And of course, cooling these data centers is going to be needed. So when they're, programming you to conserve, and Bill Gates is coming out telling you how he's investing in water, he's investing in water systems, making it so that you can drink your toilet water, in fact. Bill Gates has a program, a system that he is invested in where you can recycle your toilet water and drink it. And it all makes perfect sense if you understand how much water they need to cool these data centers. So it isn't about saving your planet, although that's how they'll get you engaged. That's how they round people up into their programming and have them fight for the cause. When in reality, it's got very little to do with your planet, because the amount of energy that AI is sucking is it's incredible. They don't care about your planet. They don't care about any of that. It's about making sure that they win the race to artificial intelligence, that they're able to create these data centers. These data centers need to be cooled, and water is how they're going to do it. Be very clear about that. It is a cult of climate change because they have some tenets. They've worked out some tenets to follow, right? You've got to be a good little citizen. Recycle, right? You're not going to be able to fly anywhere because that's going to cost too many carbon credits, but they're fine to fly in on their private jet to the World Economic Forum in Davos. That's fine. It doesn't add up, everybody. It doesn't add up. If we're so concerned about the climate and, California is going to slide into the ocean because of global warming, then why are all these head figures like Obama buying coastal properties? Why is Oprah buying coastal properties? Why? It doesn't match up because the real reason behind it is about AI and developing AI and conserving enough energy. Like, you can't have incandescent light bulbs that are better for your health because we got to conserve every little bit of energy for AI. Good luck finding incandescent light bulbs. They're hard to find, and I believe they're even illegal in Canada. All these little trims, a little trim here off of your energy, a little trim here, a smart meter in your home. All this is all adding up to being able to conserve energy for AI. And water is on that list, and they've already started the narrative that there's scarcity when it comes to water. I recently heard Elon Musk kind of, laugh at the thought that there's a shortage of water. He said, there's not a shortage of water. There's no shortage of water. But the scarcity is coming because everyone's going to need to get their hands on it for these data centers. And I think it was last week we covered how they are building data centers in rural places like in Texas and whatnot, because they can get a hold of the water there in these small towns. So a data center could be coming to your rural city very soon because the price of the cost of water is low and the population is low, so they can suck up all your resources. This is going to have an impact on regenerative farming. It's going to have an impact on growing our food if we can't get water because the data centers are sucking up all the water. Like, there's so many things attached to the development of artificial intelligence and these data centers and the digital revolution, the biological revolution. There's so much attached to it that nobody is talking about. And if nobody's talking about it, that means someone is controlling it. They're controlling it because it's all about winning the race. And we can argue back and forth, we got to win the race before China wins the race. Maybe we should come into an agreement with all the other countries that, hey, we don't want to exterminate the human race. So let's come to some kind of agreement about the race to the digital revolution. Because nobody wins if we're all dead, You would think, I'm not trying to be dark here, you have to laugh at this stuff. And I guess when you know God's on the throne, you can. That's kind of how I feel about it. I feel like I'm an observer of this now. I'm just an observer. I'm going to do my very best and expose all this stuff and work to empower people and work with people to have a better experience in this lifetime. But ultimately, that's all we can do. Because this is a huge problem. And there's a reason why it's not being discussed. There's a reason. And it's because money has become the god, right? Money and being first, apparently, has become the ultimate. And if you can live forever in the cloud or in the digital realm, I guess you don't have to answer to God. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned because Mark Squibb is joining us and you're not going to want to miss it. Check out his website, liveO2.com. We'll learn more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
Oh, I knew that was going to get Jason involved in the chat. He's not a big fan of recycling. Right away. Recycling. Yeah, I remember when we moved to the farm and we had a chat with this old guy who's owned a trash company, and we were sorting everything, and he goes, yeah, I can tell you something. He said, none of that goes anywhere you think it does. Ooh, brain exploded. We're like, oh my gosh, you do the deep dive into it, and yep, sure enough, recycling is not being recycling the way you think it is. Anyway, let's get to our guest. So Mark Squibb is an inventor and a developer of brain optimization systems. Now, what does that mean? Well, when you look further into the LiveO2 system, he's helped people in a number of different ways. So we're going to get into a little bit about what the system is, who it helps, how it helps, and you can learn more about how you can connect to it. Mark, welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio today. How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I want to dive right into it because, like I said, I've looked at your website. I saw your setup at the Naturally Inspired Health Summit, so I've got an idea of it. But I want everybody to understand exactly what the LiveO2 system is. So take it away and introduce us to it.
Okay, well, let me start out with a really simple. Most people have heard of hyperbaric, which is the pressure vessel that you go inside, and it basically dissolves oxygen into your body like a sponge. LiVO2 is like a turbocharger. So, like, for example, LiVO2 super oxygenates the body. Like, for example, our Brain O2 protocol, which enhances, and we've got some images I'll share later on. But basically, it can create a pulse or oxygen delivery to the brain somewhere in the ballpark of 24 times normal. And we have tests, and I'll share one of that with you later as well, that show after one of our workouts a 29% increase in energy production in the brain. It works throughout the body, so not only does it improve the brain, it works throughout the body. Like, for example, if you measure somebody's IQ after they train, they'll be between 5 and 15% smarter. And I also have with us and uploaded to Jason a cognitive result that we got last Friday for a young man in Greeley who my son trained. And he had some, I'll call it chemical induced injury from when he was a child. And we had a substantial reversal of that in 6 workouts, which is under two hours worth of physical work. The system basically is a turbocharger for exercise. There are several sports teams, including Tampa, that carry as many as 6 of these systems before they play games like the Super Bowl. And so it's the secret weapon because of the neurological tune-up that when people go out, if your brain's on, your nervous system is on, you're going to perform better, as well as, but it doesn't matter what you do. Or if you have a problem, like you whacked your noggin, it puts so much oxygen in the brain, it speeds up the healing, as well as makes you smarter. We actually have a case study that shows an individual that was severely injured in Afghanistan. And we've got a functional, well, I won't say it's completely done, but we've got a TV show about him and his reversing his paralysis, which is
Wow.
supposed to be impossible.
Right. Wow. So tell me about oxygen then. Why is a super oxygenated being a better being? Like, what is this doing for the body?
Well, I don't know. What happens, and again, it's not about super oxygenation. Okay. The thing that happens is called stress. Okay. And as we go through life, if you look at the status, the age-related statistics, they tell us, goodness, you lose 1% per year of your body's ability to produce energy. Well, it turns out this happens in the brain. And so as you get older and as you have stress events, a tiny fraction of your body gets shut down, as in the vascular system is injured in a way that it ceases to become able to deliver energy, or I'm sorry, deliver blood, thus delivering oxygen. And that's at about 1%.
That's so interesting because I'm a big fan of traditional Chinese medicine, and I'm always thinking about the idea of traditional Chinese medicine is stagnation, right? It's your energy flow is stagnant, right? And so you work with the meridians to kind of open that up. So it's kind of the same concept in a way, right? Like I think about a stagnant pond, right? When it doesn't have a pump in it and it's just sitting there and it's growing algae and nothing's moving, it gets all scummy and gunked up. You blow oxygen into the pond and what happens, right? We see it clear. Is it a similar concept?
Yeah, almost identical. So what happens is you have stress injury, which causes inflammation in the capillaries, which are the little pipes, the tiniest part of the pipes at the venous end of the capillary. So the blood goes into the capillary from the artery and it comes out in the vein. And then when you have a stress event, specifically for shutdown of blood flow for 90 minutes, you trigger inflammation. So the capillary gets smaller. And once the capillary gets smaller, red blood cells can't go through there anymore, so they'll go around bypasses called shunts. And as this inflammation piles up in the body, the cells that are fed by these capillaries lose their oxygen supply. And when they do that, they go dormant. Okay, so the reason LiVO2 works at one level is it delivers so much oxygen that it opens up the vascular system. So when Jason presents some of the cognitive recovery panels, what happens is it basically busts through like a Drano and opens the blood flow. And when you open the blood flow, parts of the brain just switch back on.
Wow.
And it happens immediately. We've had it. I have one. I sent you test results of a lady here in LaPorte, or Bellevue, that her brain opened up after having had 3 concussions over 18 months, and the recovery timeline was 2 hours.
Wow. Do you want to put up some of those images, Jason? Do you want to put up the red, it sounds like you have a red blood cell image or something. You want to put that up first? Or no, some of these.
Okay, yeah, this would be Jill. So I don't know if we can make it so you can see it across. There you go. Okay, this is the lady in Bellevue, and I'm going to help you understand what we're looking at.
Okay, great.
This is a neurocognitive panel. It is the same panel that the U.S. military uses pre and post deployment for U.S. Special Forces.
Okay.
The test is difficult to take because it gives you all kinds of different tests. So like, for example, it's got composite memory, verbal memory, visual memory, psychomotor speed, reaction time, complex attention. So if you're going across the top, these red scores are basically mean that's a part of the, in this case of Jill, where she hit her head and she had a bruise and the blood flow to her brain was shut down or damaged or inhibited enough that those parts of her brain weren't working well. So if you go across the top line, we took that test, or she took the test at 11:12 in the morning. And so then we trained her on LiVO2. It turns out she's a pretty solid athlete. And then if we take a look, the 4 white boxes were all memory tests. I can't do the memory test on the same day because there's a thing. But if you go across the other line, you'll see there's a red box on the top line and a green box on the line underneath it. The red to green transition shows that blood flow was restored to those parts of the brain and it started working again.
Yeah, so I just want to make it clear, everybody knows what you mean when you say train. So I've seen the equipment. So it's actually a bike. But can you explain what it looks like to people so they know what you mean?
So basically, the system is an air supply, and it provides air to you while you work out. And there's a switch that enables you to move from a simulated high altitude to a very rich oxygen environment. So it's basically a mask that you wear where you work out, and the mask will either give you a boatload of oxygen or air that's had part of the oxygen removed. And so what we do is we trick the body. So like in the protocol with Jill here, we starved her of oxygen, activated her, she worked out, and her body quadrupled the amount of blood to the brain. Then we threw a switch and we put 6 times more oxygen in the blood.
Let's stop right there. And when we come back, we'll have Mark explain more. This is a real solution for health, everybody. Visit livo2.com. Stay tuned. More with Mark when we come back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
I can't wait to get into more with Mark Squibb, because he's the inventor and developer of the brain optimization system called LiveO2. So visit liveO2.com. That's liveO2.com for more information. But now we're going to get back into this conversation with Mark about things like brain injury. We're going to be talking about the power of oxygen and what it does for healing in the body. So Mark, pick up please where you left off there. Did you want to go to the next graph?
Yeah, let's do the next graph.
Okay.
All right. So the reason this is important, because it has very significant implications around brain energy. What we're looking at here is a literal real-time graph of the energy production in my brain as I was doing a LiveO2 session. The instrumentation of this shined a light into my skull at the surface of my frontal cortex, and basically measured the oxygen coming in and the oxygen going out. Okay, so it's just a light, so it didn't hurt. But what you're looking at here is you'll see a 0 on the left-hand side, and that when I challenge myself in a sprint with low oxygen, you'll see that my brain energy kind of went down. And then I switched to oxygen, then it bounced back up. And then I challenged myself again, it went down, back up, down, back up. What matters in the graph is you'll notice a series of higher highs and higher lows. After the 18-minute workout, at the end, you'll see the green line across, and if you measure the numbers, my brain was producing 29% more energy at the end of the workout than it was at the beginning.
Is that the key timing, 18 minutes, and why?
No, you can do it in a few minutes. It's just your workout. So our kind of baseline workout is about 15 minutes. But in this case, I had the experiment. So, and then we've got different workouts. So to your audience, LiveO2 requires no chemistry. It uses only air, and you plug it in and basically the system separates the air into oxygen rich and oxygen reduced, and then you'll do a workout. This particular workout is an example, but when I say it supercharges the brain, this is a literal illustration. So in the last example I showed you with the brain tests, this is what happened in Jill's brain. Okay, but if you have a concussion or a bruise where there's blood flow restricted to an area, this will normally restore the blood flow and restore the brain function.
What about blood clots and things of that nature? Have you had any do you have any stories about blood clots at helping?
Well,
with
we
blood
have
clots?
a lot of stories about stroke recovery, which end up either being occlusal. You know, the case of Ben Menifee, he was the Afghanistan person. He had a severe brain injury, and he effectively is well on his way to recovering from a brain bleed, which would be a very severe version of injury. So, LiVO2 has become the standard, or at least an element of the standard, of dementia, Alzheimer's, as well as neurological recovery, because it works so fast. People can do it at home. We sell it as an at-home workout platform. It can be used in clinics. There are quite a few clinics around that use it, but it is the standard for how you want to recover your brain. And so anything that blocks blood flow to the brain, it will usually help with.
That's fascinating. And we're hearing a lot more about metabolic health. You know, this is the conversation that's taking place in the nation, really. People are starting to understand that you got to get to root cause when it comes to disease in the body, chronic disease. And, you know, I know we have to be so careful because we live under the medical mafia. So we can't, you know, we're not making claims here. We're not saying it cures this or it cures that. We're saying, you know, that it's another tool in your toolkit, right?
Correct.
What about metabolic health? Mark, what's its impact in that regard?
Would you please bring up the next image? Not that one, the other one, the one that talked about the red body one, if you received it. This is another case. Okay, well, while we're here, and I'll just speak to the slide, this is the same story, except that if you had a concussion a long time ago, this is after 41 years.
Oh, wow. So there's no time frame here, Mark?
There does not appear to be a time frame. So, you know, this process, like for example, if you had a concussion, if this lady had a concussion, this is a before after neurological panel. She did the LiVO2 workout. I think it was about a 30-day time window. She didn't exercise a lot, so it took her about 3 weeks to condition. Then we did the brain oxygenation protocol. And this is her neurological panel. You'll note also the red to green transitions. And she reported that her her lifestyle adjusted accordingly. So she basically could remember where she left the keys.
That's fascinating. I want to go quickly back to the young guy in Greeley that you helped. How many? You said those were 5 sessions, right?
Yep.
He did 5 sessions, 6 sessions. So what did that look like? How long were the workouts? And
his workouts were 15 to 18 minutes.
Okay.
And so what he did was he just put on a mask and got on, and then he trained easy the first time, a little harder the second time, a little harder the third time, and so forth. And so the process is called punch through. His real problem is called osteonecrosis. And so we're doing an experiment with him to see what it's going to do to resolve that. But his mom had mentioned that, you know, he had some injury when he was younger, and that, so we sponsored him taking the neurological panel. And, so he came to the office 6 times over the past, I guess, since June 26th, which is when we did his first panel. And then last week on Thursday, he took the second test, and you could see the difference in his scores. I don't know if we showed him or not yet, but his scores are the same, which is he had the same telltale red to green transitions. So he spent less than 2 hours exercising, and his brain recovered.
Fascinating. So we've talked about, traumatic injury. We've talked about chronic illnesses that are going on, but what just like for prevention?
Well, that's where we're going in the next slide.
Okay.
So the answer, and I'm going to give you this, and it's going to sound crazy, but we have north of 10,000 systems in the field, probably as many as 15,000, and that many users. And the users that come back and report to us that after having used the system, exercising with it for 2 to 6 months, they generally report a 15 to 25 year reversal in functional age.
And how's that measured?
Just like, we ask the questions like, so how many years ago was it when you felt as good as you do today? How many years ago was it when your list of medications and diseases was as it is today? That ends, so that this touches your metabolic question, which is basically punching through and restoring the blood flow throughout the body that you've gradually lost over time, wipes or reverses 15 years plus worth of loss of function. Okay, so when you take a look at the body, a vital body that has good blood flow, has good immune system access, isn't going to be able to, or it's not going to incubate the diseases. So if you go look at Warburg's research about cancer, he said, well, cancer evolves in a low oxygen environment.
Yes.
If you erase the low oxygen environment, then the body bounces back. And one of the first things I approached you guys about a few weeks ago was we had a young man, 23 years old, who was injured by an injection. And anyway, he came up with a case of turbo testicular cancer. Okay. And I'll tell you the story. He showed up at the hospital. His groin was hurting so bad on Thursday. They said, my goodness, you have turbo cancer. We're going to do emergency surgery on Saturday morning. And then they hooked him up to the chemo line on Monday morning.
Wow. So very urgent.
Well, very urgent. He was sitting there, looked down the line of people, and he said, I can't do this. He left. 3 weeks later, he goes back. He goes to see his aunt, who trained him just using this optimization of his immune system. He goes back to the hospital 3 weeks later and says, wow, we can't find your cancer.
Incredible.
So he asked him one question. Testicular cancer. He says, can I have my nut back?
My goodness. I mean, of course, we can't make claims here, but what I always want people to understand.
That's not a claim. LiveO2 does nothing around any sort of disease. It only optimizes structure function, restoring blood flow to your body. The physiological effects for brain are optimizing the blood delivery or oxygen delivery to the brain. All of these effects are just about restoring oxygen to the brain that has been damaged by stress-related injury that has happened through time that is medically unrecognized.
Listen, I want to make sure everybody has your website. Mark is going to be visiting us ongoing. So you're going to have the opportunity to learn a whole lot more about LiveO2. We're going to talk more about sleep. We're going to talk about addiction. We're going to talk about a ton of things. Visit liveO2.com. That's liveO2.com. You want to connect to Mark Squibb. This is fascinating stuff. Mark, I look forward to having you back on again. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, Explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.